5 driving mistakes that ruin your engine. Have you ever thought about how your daily driving habits might be harming your engine? Many drivers unknowingly make mistakes that lead to excessive wear and tear, causing long-term damage that could result in costly repairs. The worst part is that these mistakes often don't have immediate consequences, so by the time you notice something is wrong, the damage is already done. Taking care of your engine doesn't just mean getting regular oil changes or following the recommended maintenance schedule. It also means paying attention to the way you drive and avoiding bad habits that can slowly degrade essential components. Let's take a closer look at some of the most common mistakes drivers make, why they are so harmful, and how you can avoid them to keep your car running smoothly for years to come. Skipping the warm-up on cold mornings. Many drivers are guilty of starting their car and immediately hitting the road, especially when they're in a hurry. While this might seem harmless, it can actually cause long-term damage to your engine, particularly in cold weather. When your car sits for hours, the engine oil settles at the bottom of the crankcase. In cold temperatures, it thickens and becomes less effective at lubricating the moving parts. Without proper lubrication, internal components experience more friction, which leads to excessive wear over time. Think of it like stretching before a workout. If you suddenly start running at full speed without warming up, you increase your risk of injury. Your engine works the same way. Jumping straight into high-speed driving without allowing the oil to circulate can lead to premature wear and, in extreme cases, engine failure. Riding the clutch or holding the brakes. Riding the clutch is a popular but harmful practice for drivers of vehicles with manual transmissions. Keeping your foot partially placed on the clutch pedal while driving places unneeded strain on the clutch plate, which leads to excessive heat buildup and premature wear. With the passage of time, this can result in sliding, poor engagement, and finally clutch failure, which is a costly repair. Drivers of vehicles with automatic transmissions are not exempt from the problem either. Many people have the habit of resting their foot on the brake pedal even when they do not have to. Not only can this modest pressure cause the brake pads to wear out more quickly, but it can also cause the transmission to become confused, which results in poor performance. It is recommended that you always fully release the pedal after shifting gears, rather than riding the clutch. In situations where you are stuck in the stop-and-go traffic or waiting at a red light, you should shift into neutral rather than keeping the clutch engaged. Ignoring dashboard warning lights. Especially if your vehicle appears to be operating normally, it is simple to disregard the warning signals that are displayed on your dashboard. These lights, on the other hand, are there for a specific reason. They are your vehicle's way of letting you know that something requires your attention. There are warning lights that indicate simple faults, such as a gas cap that is loose, but there are also warning lights that signify major engine problems that, if left neglected, can lead to expensive repairs. A check engine light that flashes, for instance, is typically an indication that there is a problem with the oxygen sensor, the catalytic converter, or the ignition system. The presence of a low oil pressure warning may be an indication that your engine is not receiving sufficient lubrication, which can soon result in severe damage. Vehicles manufactured in the modern era are fitted with sophisticated sensors that are meant to identify potential issues before they escalate into serious breakdowns. You should never disregard these warning signals, even if your vehicle appears to be in good condition. Driving on an almost empty fuel tank. Many motorists have the practice of driving their vehicles until the fuel tank is almost completely empty before replenishing. Although this may appear to be a harmless behavior, it can really cause damage to your engine over an extended period of time. Gasoline is how your fuel pump maintains its coolness and ensures that it functions correctly. As the tank is getting close to being empty, the pump needs to work harder, which can cause it to overheat, which can lead to an early failure. On top of that, over the course of time, dirt and debris will accumulate in the bottom of your fuel tank. It is possible for these impurities to be sucked into the fuel system when you are running short on gas, which can cause the fuel filter or injectors to become clogged and reduce the performance of the engine. Revving the engine unnecessarily. Revving the engine might sound cool, but it's one of the worst things you can do for your car's longevity. Many drivers rev their engines while waiting at stoplights before shutting off the car or when the engine is still cold. Unfortunately, this habit causes excessive wear on internal components and can even reduce fuel efficiency. When you rev a cold engine, the oil hasn't had enough time to circulate and properly lubricate the moving parts. This means that pistons, valves, and bearings are subjected to unnecessary friction, which leads to increased wear over time. Revving also forces the engine to work harder than necessary, putting additional stress on critical components. Are you making these mistakes? Now that you are aware of these 5 typical errors in driving, take a minute to reflect on the behaviors that you frequently engage in. Do you remember the times when you failed to warm up your vehicle, disregarded a warning sign, or traveled with a fuel tank that was almost empty? The good news is that it is never too late to make amends for these errors. You may improve your driving performance by making a few minor tweaks to the way you drive. In order to extend the life of your engine, enhance the efficiency of fuels. To avoid expensive repairs, maintain the smooth operation of your vehicle for many years to come. Over time, driving more intelligently will not only be beneficial to your vehicle, but it will also save you money, time, and irritation. The next time you go behind the wheel, let's say you keep these suggestions in mind and make sure to give your engine the attention and care it requires. How about you then? Are you aware of any of these errors that you have committed in the past? Leave a comment below and tell us about your travel adventures. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.